There's no better feeling in the world to a music photographer than when you get approval to a gig and then you go down to the show and somebody slaps a sticker on you, and that's what gives you access into the show to get into the photo pit, photograph the band for the first couple of songs, and that rush and feeling of just getting that pass just feels amazing. But how exactly do we get it in the first place? Well, let's have a little chat about it, shall we? Well, hello my lovelies, how are you today? I hope you're all keeping well, hope you're all keeping safe. I am so sorry that I have been rubbish at putting out content as of late. I've just been so busy. But for any of you guys that have continued to support the channel, be it liking, sharing, subscribing, just watching the videos and all, thank you so much for continuing to support. You have no idea how much it means to me. But if you are new to the channel, hello, my name is Mark. I'm a photographer from Northern Ireland who specialises in music photography. I've been doing that for God knows how long now. But along the way I have photographed big name acts to local acts across a wide variety of different venues. And that's what I wanted to talk with you about today. I just wanted to share my own advice and my own experience of how you gain the holy grail of music photography, and that is the photo pass. So what exactly is a photo pass and what does it do for you as a music photographer? Well, a photo pass is a sticker, wristband, lanyard, whatever it is, that helps you gain access into a gig to photograph it in the photo pit, soundboard, wherever you're being put for the first couple of songs or forever how long you're being told to photograph the band for, and you're photographing them for whether a media outlet or for the band themselves. And I mean, I've collected quite a wide variety of different passes over the years. This isn't even all of them. There's some that I'm actually missing, but yeah, I've just built up on so much of them. How exactly do we get it? Well, let's have a little chat about it in this video, because the one question I am always asked is, how exactly do you get into gigs? And that plays a part in this video, not only the photo pass, but some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. And hopefully by the end of this will help you, especially if you're someone that's looking to get your first ever photo pass, because that feeling of getting your first ever pass just feels so, it just feels so good. So before we go to photograph Metallica in a big stadium arena, we just got to pull it back a little bit and start off small. And this is the one thing that I will always tell any photographer that wants to get into music photography, and that is support your local bands. Because the beauty about going to a local gig is that there's generally no restrictions. You go down to the show, pay a $5 at the door, and you get to snap away to your heart's content. There's generally no photo pets, there's no song restrictions or anything like that. You can just work away, bring whatever gear you want and just snap. And doing this more and more and more gets you recognized. But it's not so much the going to the gig that helps you, it's more that what happens afterwards. Because the one thing that'll help you, whether it's a local gig or a big name act, on getting your photo pass is how you present yourself in your networking game. Because networking is a really big thing with being a concert photographer. Because say you've gone to a local gig, you photographed a band, you can then go afterwards and say, hey, I actually photographed you guys at this gig, I see you have a gig coming up here. Do you mind if I come down and work for you guys exclusively? Or it doesn't even have to be the band, it could even be the promoter, because bands aren't always in control of their gigs. You also then have promoters, managements, whoever are also in control of those shows. So you could even reach out to the promoter and say, hey, I was at this gig last week, I see you have an event on. Do you mind if I come and work as a photographer for you? And if they say yeah, happy days. It not only builds up on your networking, but you also build up on photos for your portfolio. And the more awesome content you build up on your portfolio, the more people are going to start loving and appreciating your work. So okay, I've built up a nice rapport for myself on the local scene. People are recognizing me, people are knowing the work that I am developing. So now I want to start adding some bigger names to my portfolio. And this is where things can can start getting a little bit more grey and a little bit more trickier, because remember that networking game that we were talking about, where there's going to be a few more people that you're going to need to talk to in order to get into these type of gigs, and this is where photo passes then start coming into play. Because with bigger venues and bigger names, there's then going to be what's known as the photo pit, which is this barrier in front of the first row of the crowd that you get to go into and photograph the band for the first 3 songs, and you need this photo pass to allow you this access. In some cases, your normal trick of emailing a band or a promoter and saying, hey, I see this show is on, can I come and photograph in it, can help you. And then if you know the promoter quite well, they can say, yeah, I'll pop you down on the guest list, I'll get you a photo pass, no problem. In other cases, you then need to mostly reach out to the band's management or the band's PR. And this is where it can be a little bit daunting, because sometimes they will turn around to you and say, actually, we're not allowing freelancers into the gig. You have to work with a publication. So what are you saying? There's an extra layer to this music photography business? Yes, because in these sort of cases where we start to get into bigger names, freelancers aren't always welcome all the time. Some cases, yes. Other cases, no. You need to work alongside with a publication, and that can be a magazine, a blog, or whatever it is that go down to gigs and review the bands and need photographs for the show. And looking out for publications can be quite easy enough. It's just a quick Google search and saying what publications are within the local area, and if they're looking for a photographer, like say there's a show coming up that they need content for, you can just reach out to the public and say, hey, I'm a photographer in the area, there's a show I'm quite interested in, can I come and work for you guys? And then you show off your remember that portfolio we've been building up on from our local gigs? We can show that there off. The fact that they maybe have recognized your name from the scene too, they can go, oh yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah, we'll get your name down at the door, we'll get you a photo pass, and then you can come and share the photos with us. Happy days. Having a publication safety blanket is always really good to have, because again, freelancers aren't always welcome in a photo pit. You need to be working with a media outlet. But you don't even have to stop there at the publication, because even at points you can then say, hey, I might actually message the band that was performing and say, look, I actually took these photos at the gig. If you're ever needing a photographer again down the line in the local area, or there's a gig down the road that you're playing at, you might have to come along and snap it here. Sometimes those cases, because then the band's managements and the band's PR are also seeing you as quite a competent photographer that's taken some amazing work, and if they say, yeah, happy days, it could then end up turning into a more regular thing for you. Again, networking, building up this rapport. Because you've gone from your local bands, you've gone now to working a lot more closer with publications, promoters, PR companies, band management, where they start to know your name a lot more. So okay, we've got pretty comfortable now with the bigger name acts. We've got pretty comfortable with the bigger venues and getting photo passes and all. People still know we're pretty dead on, we're pretty trustworthy. Now I want to take it to the next level. I want to go big. I want to go up here. I want to go to the arenas, the stadiums, the large name acts. And this is where things start getting tighter and tighter. I mean, in some cases, whoever the promoter is for the big name gig could have maybe been the promoter for the medium-sized show, so they know who you are. But again, they're probably still going to need some form of media outlet for you to come in. And when you do get to these sort of arena stadium shows, that's when things like photo releases start to come into play, where you have to sign a contract to then be granted your photo pass. Some contracts are pretty dead on, so they are where they just say, look, just don't sell them on to anybody else. As long as they're kept with the media outlet and they're all kept with you, that's fine. But you've probably seen some horror stories as well of some bands just going, nope, you have to sign your rights over it, you have to give us all your photos, blah blah blah. But in order for you to get a photo pass into that show, you have to then sign this release. And again, it's working alongside with your media outlet, working alongside with your promoter, that then helps you get this photo pass to the larger venue. I remember when I got my first ever photo pass for the Odyssey Arena in Belfast. I think it was Journey. I was sweating buckets. I was so nervous because I was so used to the sort of smaller and littler gigs. But nowadays I've built up that sort of trust now with the larger venues where I know this, they know the content I'm putting out, they know how quick I can put out things, they know I'm pretty dead on in the pit, not causing any trouble or anything like that. All these mixtures of things help you get from local acts to the stadium acts. But it's, you notice as well that we've talked about it in this video. What's the one word I've mentioned? Networking. Networking plays a massive role in how you are able to get your photo pass. There's also a couple of other things I just wanted to quickly mention that also helps guarantee you that you get a photo pass for any upcoming gigs, especially the bigger gigs, is that promoters are always watching out for you. Don't be doing anything stupid that then lets you get blacklisted for a gig or anything like that. Like, one thing in particular, if you get granted a photo pass for a gig, do not post it on social media. I mean, these passes are years old, but I would not post it on the time that I would have got it because it's a massive security risk. Anybody can take that photo and manipulate the pass and then get in, and God knows whatever happens after that. And then it comes back to you for sharing that photograph. And of course, just continue to be sweet, continue to be dead on. Promoters, bands, whoever aren't always sold on the content of your work. They're sold on you, on how you are as a photographer, and what your personality's like, if you're not causing any dramas or anything, and that you're just continuing to just be an awesome person. So all these things considered, from the smaller acts, middle acts, to the big name acts, is what helps you gain a photo pass for a show. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, let me know in the comments down below. If you've got any shows coming up that you've gained your first photo pass for, let me know your successes down below, and let me know if you have any other tips that you'd like to share too. If you're a seasoned photographer that, you know, has any sort of experience with gaining photo passes too. And of course, while you're down there, don't be afraid to like, share, subscribe, hit that wee bell icon so you can stay up to date with future videos. Again, I really am trying to push out as much content more regularly as possible for you guys. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to stick around. While you're down there, you can also check out my links to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Please come, say hi, whatever you like. But until then, folks, do take care of yourselves and have a good day.